Hey guys, welcome back to Neutral Gaming, and we're back for another episode of Cool Story Bro. This is going to be our final episode of Cool Story Bro for this year, but we'll be back in January to deliver more news and stories for you guys. But for this episode, we have great stories to tell, so let's get right into it. On to our first news story, we'll be talking about the Game of the Year contenders for the Game Awards 2022. The Game of the Year Awards nominees are in, and we have learned all of the nominees for the 30 categories, including the Game of the Year Award. And for the prestigious GOTY, we have A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 to be our this year's contenders. And followers of this channel already know where my heart lies in this discussion, and that's Stray. Stray is the game that really had the biggest impact on me this year. And I'm really happy to see Stray actually being nominated for the Game of the Year award, but I cannot with good conscience endorse Stray to be this year's Game of the Year, mostly due to its skill and just how much more technically impressive the other games are, like especially Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok. So realistically, my bet here is on Elden Ring, and I see a lot of people probably agreeing with me in this, but I can also see a case being built for God of War Ragnarok, and actually, whoever wins here, I don't mind. All of these nominated games are great and they deserve the nomination, so whoever wins, they deserve it as well. But I really see a lot of discussions and a lot of disagreements brewing in the internet because of this Game of the Year contenders. And I'm going to be looking forward to all of those discussions and learn a lot about game design and game mechanics from all of these people. We'll be talking about why Elden Ring or God of War Ragnarok or Horizon Forbidden West are more deserving to win the prestigious award. And I'll just be here sitting in the sidelines and listening to all of those discussions and learning more about video games through them. In other news, Blacklist International Dota 2 could be a reality starting next year. Late this week, Trike Gutierrez, the CEO and co-founder of Tier 1 Entertainment, the organization behind the pro team Blacklist International, announced on Facebook that they were able to acquire the Division 1 slot of RSG for the Dota 2 Pro Circuit for next year. This means Tier 1 Entertainment will be able to field their own team for the DPC next year, and we might just be able to see a Blacklist International Dota 2 team competing in the 2023 DPC season. For us who have been here in the Filipino esports industry for a long time, this shouldn't come as a surprise, especially the co-founders of Tier 1 Entertainment, both Trike Gutierrez and Alodia Gosing Tiao, have had a long history and background in Dota 2, so it's not really surprising that they're just returning to their roots this time around. What could even be considered as more surprising is, in hindsight, it really took them a long time to get to this point. We don't know yet who will be consisting this roster, and we don't even know yet if they will be known as RSG or as Blacklist International when the time comes. But we're really seeing a lot of interest in this group, and for it to become an all-star, all-Filipino team, and looks like they are really leaning towards that. But for all it's worth, love it or hate it, you can't deny that Blacklist International will be bringing a lot of eyeballs into this Dota 2 team, and is going to reinvigorate the interest in Dota 2 here in the Philippines, just like how Blacklist International put a lot of eyeballs and interest in Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and I think it's for the better of the industry. It's going to do good for the Dota 2 community here, and it's going to give the Dota 2 community here in the Philippines a long-needed resuscitation, because actually the Dota 2 community here has been dying down in the past few years, and any help that could come is welcome. Speaking of welcome new things, Warzone 2.0 just came out this week. And you guys might think that it's out of character for me to have anything positive to say about the Call of Duty title, because I've never been known to be a Call of Duty fan ever since. But I just randomly decided to play Warzone 2.0 when it came out, and it's free to play anyway. And so far I've been having a lot of fun with it. Just a disclaimer, I haven't touched the Battle Royale mode or the Shooting Gallery mode, or whatever you call it. I've only been doing DMZ, and I'm having tons of fun playing that game mode. So again, another disclaimer, I don't usually play these kinds of games, so I have no idea how Escape from Tarkov or any other title that is similar in nature as DMZ breaks out, but DMZ's gameplay loop had me hooked, and I'm really having fun playing all of these contracts, completing all of these quests and missions that you could get from the game, and then looking for an exfil before the timer runs out. It's a really swell time, especially if you're playing it with friends, which I've been doing. And even if you have reservations about Call of Duty, if you haven't played any Call of Duty game in a long time, if you have reservations about it, I encourage you to try it out. You might have some fun playing DMZ. If you do, or you need someone to play with, then you can just PM me, and then we could probably find some time together to play. And I would really love to have that downtime, being able to play Warzone 2.0 in my free time. But what came out earlier this week that hasn't been doing a really swell job? Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Yes, if you haven't heard, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have been suffering from performance issues, and it has had a really rough launch so far. Again, a lot of fans have been buying Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It has mostly been sold out in local game stores here. It's most probably going to be a bestseller for Nintendo Switch this year, but the game has been very bad so far. And just to clarify, it's not because of the game design or the gameplay experience itself, or that the game has bad and shoddy game mechanics and features. Not all of that. Actually, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has been the most innovative game to come out of Game Freak for quite a long time. In fact, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on paper is a strong follow-up to Pokemon Legends Arceus that came out earlier this year. But man, the game's performance issues just have had a great impact on the experience that players have had with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet so far. So much so that I've known some people who have stopped playing the game just because the game is so insufferable. It could be because of Nintendo Switch's hardware limitations, or it could be because Game Freak is just out of their league in creating an open world game. But one thing's for sure, it has been affecting the gameplay experience of fans around the world. And it's actually quite a shame because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet really builds upon the mistakes that they've had from Pokemon Sword and Shield, and they took a lot of their learnings from Pokemon Legends Arceus into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And the game on paper is really good, and the direction that Game Freak is taking the franchise to is what I believe is the right direction. But you can't have all of these gameplay mechanics, this game design, even with a really great story you have. Nothing really matters if your game can't run properly on the console that you're designed for. And that really has been the case for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet so far. People really want to enjoy this game because the exploration is fun, the new Pokemon are fun, seeing them battle is fun, seeing your Pokemon level up and evolve is fun. But all of that fun has been marred by the performance issues that have been ruining the gameplay experience of all of these fans. So while I'm interested in seeing where Game Freak is taking the Pokemon franchise to next, I just hope that they spend more time on quality assurance and control next time, and that they would be producing their next game on the Nintendo Switch's successor, because we already know the Nintendo Switch is really not a powerful hardware. And if you're going to be really ambitious, Game Freak, why not wait for the next console release? Why not wait for the Nintendo Switch successor and make your game there? It might be the best for everyone. And I don't want to end our final episode of Cool Story Bro for the year on a negative note, so let's head on to our next news story, which is all about the migration of Garena accounts for League of Legends into your Riot account. So if you've been playing League of Legends all these years under Garena, well, guess what? You are in for a treat. Riot Games has just started the migration process of old Garena accounts into the new Riot platform. This is part of the process of Riot taking over the publication of their games in Southeast Asia away from Garena and now self-publishing those games here in this region. And Riot is actually giving old-time players here a great reason to come back and play League of Legends again. Once the migration process is complete and all of the League of Legends accounts from the Garena servers are moved to the Riot servers, and once games start being played in the Riot servers, all 157 champions will be unlocked for all of the migrated accounts. So that comes as great news because with 162 champions right now, you only have a handful of champions that you won't be able to play when you migrate the game. So it's a great time for everyone to come back and play because everyone will be fiddling with their new champions anyway. No one's going to know what they're doing. So it's also the perfect time for you to come back and play new champions and learn new skills or whatever. Just Riot is giving everyone a great reason to come back and play League of Legends once again. And I'm looking forward to this publishing of Riot Games of League of Legends here in the Philippines. Hopefully they bring in more tournaments here. They bring in a lot more interest in the region. They should revive all of these teams that have been laying dormant for all of these years. There's a lot of investment going on here, and I hope that the League of Legends community here respond well to it. I wish to see a lot of old faces come back to the League of Legends scene and see a lot of the League of Legends fans coming back, watching all of these tournaments, forming all of these teams, joining all of these competitions and whatnot. And I'm really just looking forward for 2023 for the League of Legends community. And that's it for our final episode of Cool Story Bro for the year. We will be back in January for more gaming and esports stories to tell, but until then, we will be on hiatus as we head into the holiday break. Don't worry though, because Neutral Gaming will remain active for the rest of the year, and we will still be bringing you content related to gaming and entertainment like what we used to. We still have a lot of great stuff in store for you guys that we will deliver to you for your entertainment and for your enjoyment. But until then, stay frosty.